Chapter 78 of Monster Musume has finally dropped, and overall, this chapter was pretty interesting. But before I obviously dig into the chapter, I want to go over the cover page, which talks about the school uniforms. But what obviously goes straight to my interest is the trio of the monster girls on the cover page. Obviously, one is a fairy and the other is a harpy. But the other one catches my attention, the bigger one. At first, I thought she was a slime, but once you notice that she has tentacles, I realized she's like a cephalopod like monster girl. And the only thing that was throwing me off was these ear like appendages. Because I didn't know what cephalopod, octopus like squid could have ears. So ultimately, I figured out she's probably a vampire squid, because vampire squid tends to have these appendages slash fins that look like ears. So yeah, this is a new monster girl, I guess, being introduced. This chapter opens up with a succubus taking sexy selfies, which honestly, I'm not even surprised. It's Monster Musume, so I expect stuff like this. And especially with the succubus, every time these succubus appear on any chapter in this manga, it's always something like this. It's always lewd stuff, since obviously succubus are into the whole sexy stuff. But what I find funny is that the guy the succubus was really talking to sort of like embarrasses her, because the guy sort of confesses to her that like, because all the succubus are interested in sex, but this guy's not really interested or attracted to her because of that reason, but rather because the succubus is trying her best to like better herself, get better at her studies, and ask him for his help. So ultimately, this is what that guy finds attractive in her, and I find it funny that she gets embarrassed because of that. This chapter reveals that there's a huge archive of nothing but manga in this high school. So, and they're all the manga are from the rom-com slash romantic comedy genre. So eventually, the chapter goes on to reveal that Arbatel, the magic tome, is a big fan of this whole school theme rom-com. So, by gathering a lot of info from all of these rom-com manga, it practically decided to create the ultimate rom-com scenario or world. So essentially, this high school dimension-lash world was created because Arbatel wanted to create the ultimate rom-com world and sort of insert himself into the mix in order to experience the ultimate, high school romance stuff. Which I honestly think is a very pathetic and stupid plan, but hey man, if it works, it works. And apparently Arbatel is in the school disguised as a student, so they now have to find a student that could potentially be Arbatel. And because apparently Arbatel is also a shapeshifter now, we get a little bit more lore slash info on the shapeshifting species as a whole. And that is that apparently a shapeshifter can shapeshift probably like their entire body, but they'll leave something behind that sort of gives away that they are a shapeshifter. So an example is that if a Tanuki shapeshifting monster girl shapeshifts into like a succubus, they'll probably leave behind like Tanuki ears or Tanuki tail, or they probably can't shapeshift their eyes, so their eyes will probably be practically the same, but the body is different. So I think that was pretty interesting. We also see Smith talking to this like Frankenstein's monster little girl slash vampire and werewolf. So I guess that sort of reveals that the werewolf, and we already seen vampire before, so I guess it's a new vampire girl. And I don't think we've seen a Frankenstein's monster slash monster girl in the series before. We've seen it in Monmusu Online, but definitely not the manga, so this is new. Either ways, they also reveal these three other new monster girls slash species. One's a silverfish insect girl, the other is like a paper dancer fairy, and the other is like literally it's just a living painting. But yeah, these three monster girls are all somehow have a connection to like books and papers. So these are like the three main suspects that Arbatel could potentially be one of these in disguise. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I thought this chapter was pretty good. The whole info about the shapeshifters was pretty interesting, as well as the more low information slash reveal about Arbatel. His reasoning behind creating this high school world and everything. I thought it was overall a pretty interesting chapter, and I liked it a bit more better than the previous chapter. Either ways, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts or comments, leave it down in the comment section down below. And I will see you in the next one.